Tonight, I call to order. Any additions to be added to it? No deletion? And the adoption of the agenda, get a motion?
I make a motion we accept as written.
Second the motion, all in favor, by saying aye, raise your hands. Thank you. The approval of February 21st minutes. Get a motion
Motion.
and a second. Public appearance tonight, number 4. Ms.
Shamika.
Brown, come to the podium.
Hey, I'm Shamika Brown. I'm coming here today to talk about a problem I learned about my access to my property. So back in January, I went to the courthouse to inform about some information. And I learned that the driveway that I'm currently using is not a legal driveway. That's when I learned about the proper access to my home is from B.S. Mitchell Drive, which I've been in my home for 16 years. I never knew this. But I know back here, maybe like 2019, early part of the year, I had to have a fire truck come out. And they said that they could never find my property. And so they finally stopped and asked. And that's when they was told to come on back. So I just been trying to get the public works to come and clear off, because where the road's stopping, it's not even going nowhere close to my property. But I've been calling since January. They did come out and like clear, but they've not cutting down the trees to make the entrance from all the way from B.S. Mitchell. And I have the map, and it shows on the map where I guess the road should go all the way down, but it's not even coming halfway down B.S. Mitchell Drive. And the driveway I'm using now, it go through 2 people property. So one of the ladies' house passed. I don't even know who the property is beside the road, so I don't have any information about that. But if they cut me off today, I don't have no access onto my property. I have 2 kids, and I just need to get this resolved. Because on the map at the courthouse that Miss Ann had showed me, that it actually showed that the road go all the way to my house. It's like I had on 2 different properties, and it's supposed to go all the way back to my house property. And I tried to get my land surveyed, but my surveyor said he can't even take it to the courthouse to get it recorded, because there's no legal access to my home. So he's trying to wait on this to get resolved, and then I guess he'll try to go on with the situation. But he said like there's nothing he can take to the courthouse because they won't even record on my plaque without legal access to my home.
This road you've been using, looks like it's been being used since at least 2002.
Well, it was used before that, because I've been in my home for 16 years. I bought the home from Deborah and Luther Galtman. That's the driveway that they was using. So when I found out about the information about the other driveway, I called them also. They haven't never used it. But I guess no one never inquired about it, and everybody was lack of information. But when you get the correct information, you try to go forward with the right information. And that's what I've been trying to do ever since January.
And who told you that you were supposed to be using B.S. Mitchell driveway?
Miss Ann Peterson gave me this map, and it's a red line to show you that this road go all the way back to my property. This road here that I'm using, it's not even on the map. I mean that you can kind of see it kind of faintish in the picture, but it's not a legal driveway, which I never knew, but it's not.
Yeah, it clearly crosses two more
Yeah.
parcels.
I think the first property is, I think a lady named Gussie, not sure her last name, but the other property is Miss Stevens, which I knew that was Miss Stevens' property ever since I've been back there, because I have been conversating with her over the years. But she passed away, so I just don't know where my property is going to end up now. But I need access to my home.
Peter?
When I drew pulled this map off the GIS,
Yes.
I interpreted that red line to be an easement, and it also says B.S. Mitchell Drive County, so I took that to be a county road. I've since done some research, and there is a plat for an easement. It's a 4-foot wide ingress-egress easement that extends along the length of the red line that's on the map. Obviously, 4 feet is not wide enough for fire trucks or ambulances or cars in and out.
So you said
and
that's just a 4-foot easement?
Yes, this plat was recorded in 1992. Okay?
Okay.
So it may have been, I don't know. I don't know what it might have been, but it says on here 4 feet on the map. This isn't the only thing I've discovered. There's the 4-foot easement. 4-foot egress easement.
That goes to her property,
This is her property here.
and this 4 feet goes to her property.
This is this, that, and that, with a
That's
slight
that's
change.
4 foot right through there.
And it's supposed to be 4, so I asked the GIS manager, Bob Beard, why it would show up like it does. And he said maybe it was when the company that scanned in all the maps for his digital GIS mapping, their standard for any length side of easement was kind of the same. So he thinks that's maybe why it shows up the way it is. So that was a misinterpretation of mine, but why the county part of it only goes up, let me see, according to 911 addressing, 0.005 miles, and it goes up to access this parcel here only. So the rest of this would only be 4 feet wide per that latest plat, though it's drawn wider. Apparently in 2002, the address was given by 911 addressing as coming off of Wilvant Road.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is a 2002 aerial, and it shows it quite clearly coming through from here and going through there. It's since got overgrown with trees. So
Yes,
most
I got it.
recent, okay, you got it there too, good. So that's why 911 addressing gave that too, because this was only 4 foot wide.
Do they have an easement for this, or what?
No, haven't found anything for that. But
survey?
911 addressing gave her that address coming off of here.
Okay.
But I don't believe there's any easement on record for it. I haven't found it yet.
I've spoken to my oldest employees, my longest-term employees. Nobody ever remembers maintaining B.S. Mitchell beyond that second mobile home. It's like 153 feet, 158 feet. That's as far as we've ever gone. In order to cut through this, taking aside the fact that it's only a 4-foot easement, I mean, you'd be basically doing lot clearing and building a road.
Plus you only have 4 feet,
Correct.
enough for a four-wheeler.
Right. Maybe.
Mr. Tothaker, is there any statutes or anything for driveway easements that have been used for this amount of time? I know power lines have a prescriptive easement of 21 years if it's been used for that long, and it's an assumed easement. Is that the same with like driveway properties?
Mr. Shealy, as much as it pains me to say this, that would be rendering legal advice. I'm glad to answer the question for you and Mr. Scurry. I can't answer it for the lady. And I can't answer it in an open session because I'd have to explain what's behind it. If you want to go into an executive session to receive legal advice, I'm happy to explain it there.
Okay. Thank
Sorry.
You. Thank you, Mr. Tothaker. That would be the only way we can get an answer on that one.
Would you excuse us to go in executive session for a minute, please? Let us go in executive session for a few minutes. Give us.
Mr. Scurry. Go into executive session to receive legal advice pursuant to the Freedom of Information
Okay.
Act.
I make a motion, we go into executive session for a few moments for legal advice.
And I second the motion, we'll move forward with legal representation.
Mr. Chairman, the Newberry County Public Works and Planning Committee went into executive session to receive legal advice about the first item. There was no action taken in that executive session.
Thank you. We're back in regular session now. Ms. Brown, doing our research and advice, we have to advise you to seek an attorney for legal advice in going forward for your driveway. We don't have attorney experience, but we suggest that you seek some legal counseling for your driveway.
So you saying that y'all can't do the driveway? That's what you're saying?
Well, there's only a 4-foot easement going back to your property, which is not really room enough for a driveway to start with. And we only maintain or take over paved roads, and that does not, this doesn't justify, nor has it got room for the county to take it over. It looks like the best recourse in this situation, to seek legal counsel and see if this can stay your driveway the way it is, but that would be, your legal advice needs to give you that information. There are ways that this could possibly, you could work that out through your legal counsel, that this remain your legal driveway
About the driveway,
that you're currently using.
but if it goes through other people's property, then how, they would have to sign off on that.
Yeah, that's correct. But you need to see an attorney to get that done. We cannot do that.
He would have information that could help you out.
Okay, so even with the 4-foot road, I can't get an easement off of that on my side of the property?
This easement actually ends at your property. It doesn't give you access to your property, because it ends right on the corner.
So it ends on Eagle Brown property?
That,
The property that is in front of me?
yes,
It
at
ends
the,
in, 39?
the 464-2-6-58, that 4-foot easement stops at that corner.
Okay, so the road's supposed to go to,
Now, the 4-foot easement goes to there.
you know what I'm saying, but B.S. Mitchell regular road supposed to go to the property that ended in 39? The corner of,
Let me find it on here.
on the corner of above, is the property line right up above?
It stops at 40.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am, it goes like 157 feet, I think is what was stated, is the county maintained section that they took over, that we, as the county, took over. And from that point on, it's a 4-foot easement, ingress, egress, it appears, that goes and stops at the corner of your property. It does not go onto your property.
So how can I have a house but don't have access to my home?
Who you purchased it from?
Deborah and
You
Luke?
need to see them.
Okay.
I would talk to the previous landowner, if it were me, and get legal counsel.
Okay, I sure will.
That would be my advice.
Okay.
But I am not an attorney. I can't give legal advice, but that would be my suggestion.
Okay.
And I am sorry that the county can't help, but we can't put a road on 4 feet to start with. I wasn't aware that this was not but a 4-foot ingress egress.
And I wasn't aware of it either. So it was a whole road.
Yeah, for a 4-foot ingress egress is more like a walking path.
Okay.
And
Legal action.
unfortunately, the county cannot do anything with a 4-foot ingress egress.
Okay.
And we're certainly sorry.
Anyone else? Is that any more public appearance?
Paula Spradley? Paula Spradley? Sorry if I mispronounced.
That's fine, you're good.
Yeah.
So do y'all have a copy of the
I think we got a copy of some options.
Right, those were some options that the county presented to me, proposed,
Okay.
and that's the copy of the plan.
That's her plat, their land.
15 acres. Where the water at?
Just up here. Both. So you're on 13 and 14?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So can I show you a video of
What's your
going on?
name and address, first of all?
Paula Spradley, 46 and 22 Raymond Finch Drive,
Okay.
West Verity, South Carolina,
All right.
29127.
Okay.
Okay, this is a video of the water coming through my property, that there is no easement or right-of-way for the county to dump the water. And it's like gushing. Here I have 4 grandbabies. If that was coming through there, it would knock my 3-year-old slap into the lake. That's dumping into Lake Murray.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, and it's.
And this is cutting
Right.
straight through this property?
It's coming through 13. It's coming through, right through this one. It's done eroded the whole back of this out and underneath here, like knocked the foundation out. So what we are doing now, or trying to do, this is the county's right-of-way to put that easement there. However, back in whenever they built that road, somebody put the pipe in the wrong way, and I'm sure it's probably the people who did the subdivision. The counties took the road over, and they had an engineer come look, and the pipe that they put in is the wrong kind of pipe. It's a corrugated metal pipe. It's not the kind of pipe that goes under the road. And he said that the engineer that the county sent said that the pipe was too small for that amount of water, and that's what's causing the force, because it's backing it's restricting the amount of water coming through there. So this is their easement for drainage right here, drainage easement. I am asking, I have hired this company here, his name's Tommy Baggett. He's done come and dug this out to get that over to there. But it needs pipe put in it, and I'm asking the county to help me with the pipe. I don't feel like it's fair for me to take all the water from the whole entire neighborhood in the ditches and it be piped to one centralized, or ran to one centralized location, one pipe, and that one pipe's dumping everything on my property, consuming this lot. And I'm trying to build a house here now. And so the water had to get over here. It's destroyed that and this. This is, I got pictures of this. It's a 2-story little cabin. So the water has now been routed. I need help with getting some pipe. Or the county can come and put the right pipe in under the road and
So you already got this part dug
right.
the whole way or
All the way. I took
all the
care
way to the lake?
that's been done.
We kind of, oh, I'm sorry, get the wrong one. That one don't even show the pipe. You roughly dug it from here over.
Mm-hmm.
It don't go all the way over like it shows on the drainage easement. It kind of went this way towards the power pole, and then we turned it back. She has 3 nice trees here, and she wants a driveway over here. And when she builds her house, her garage is gonna be on this side for her driveway. So we was trying to get pipe to go from here and some riprap to go from here to take it over to here, about 120, 140 feet of pipe. And it says 18-inch here. I measured it, it's 24-inch, but it is corrugated metal, and it is rusted out. It's been in there a long time.
It's got all kind of junk all up in it, and, I mean, and it's,
But it would just help when, I know everybody makes errors or whatever, but when they drew this out with the easement and all that on it, they had 10 foot on her side and 5 foot on the adjacent property.
right.
But I think when they drew it out, they was looking upstream of the ditch. She should have really had, I mean, it should have went on the line, but she should have had 5 foot because you got a deeper cut on this side. So you would have need more right of way, actually, because the bank's steeper. So if you dig a 2 or 3 foot wide ditch and you was gonna slope it back to 1-to-1, you would have needed more room here. You wouldn't have needed more room over on her side. But she's willing to put the ditch on her side. She just needs the help from the county with some pipe and some riprap. Here, she's had the problem ever since they started back. Y'all came out in 2013,
2013, post this.
and y'all drew this up. Running another pipe across here, doing
Correct,
this, but
yeah.
then they wanted her to pay for all of it.
And I couldn't-
There's a 21 something and a 32.
That's what they're,
That was our two proposals we've got here, I think, that were proposed back in 13, I guess.
right, and I just could not afford to pay that.
And it's, it's kind of a hindsight, I guess, when y'all took the road over. Nobody really didn't check it because it was draining, it was a low area.
It was already a drain on the property,
Well, they just, that's what.
natural drain.
Yeah, but they didn't move the drain over to where it should have been on the property line. And nobody just didn't catch it at the time.
But when the property was purchased, it was a natural drain on the
That's where
property.
pipe was at.
And I had the county come out there and, Johnny Willis with the county, that's who they sent to me, told me that natural whatever, it's my property, I could do what I wanted to do with that.
Okay. I was just curious if it was a natural drain there when you bought it. I mean,
The pipe, the pipe that's showing on the plat is not where the pipe is though.
okay,
So it shows that the pipe is here, but actually the pipe is over here. It's
Okay.
over here. It's not over here where the plat is showing it to be.
okay, so it comes out
It's
around
over
here.
here, not over here,
Right through the center of the
right through the center. So it's killing this whole entire lot with that water running through there. And
Okay.
you've seen how the water, I just showed you what the force of that water is.
Yeah, that's bad. That's
And I have,
that's a river.
I have little bitty kids, grandbabies
Oh,
there.
yeah.
They were here this past weekend, and, I mean, that would knock them into the lake. And not only that, according to lake management, you can't have foreign debris off of your land running into the lake. It has to have some kind of something to filter it through. It can't just dump into the lake. So the ditches that are around the lake.
She needs to be at the podium, so this is getting recorded. She needs to be at the podium, so this is getting recorded.
Yes.
If you through showing us the pictures, just state it at the podium, that way everything's getting recorded, please. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Here's your plat back with your drawing on it. I got a, Johnny, you good with that? You good with that?
Yes.
All right, so you established that the drain was put at the wrong location on your property, but it was a natural
Well,
spillway there when you bought the property.
right, I don't call it natural, but okay.
And the drain was put at the wrong location.
Right, the drain was put in the wrong
Okay.
location. I mean, to me, natural is when it runs off the hill and runs down. When the
Right.
pipe, you put ditches along the whole entire road, and you're diverting water to one central location, that's no longer natural. Man moved it to there.
Okay. Okay.
and it's being dumped on my property. And I know that water has to get back to the lake, and if you're on the low end, the water's gotta come through there, I get
It's
it.
gonna go somewhere.
It's gotta go, and that's not my issue. My issue is the pipe is in the wrong place. The engineer's already confirmed that it's the wrong kind of pipe. It's not even supposed to be under the road, and it's in the wrong place. And the drainage easement that the county has is to the other side of the property where I have had him dig the ditch over there. So I've done that much for the county, as well as myself. Any way you look at it, it's for the county and for me. I'm just asking for some help to get pipe and riprap through there.
All right.
And the riprap would save whatever's dumping into the lake, because that would filter it some from coming into the lake. As a matter of fact, he's came,
I
He had-
dug
he had-
it,
he
I
had to
dug
dig the
it
cove
lower than
out.
what it was supposed to be to catch the silt before it got to the lake.
but as the years have come, it dumps into the lake, and he had to come and dig that back out of the lake.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
You got anything to share about this as well, Mike?
As Ms. Bradley said, this has been going on since 2013. At that time, and I think you all have the three different proposals. One proposal was to keep the existing pipe where it was and route it back to that sideline with an open ditch. The other was to move the pipe underneath the roadway, the cross line, more in line with where the ditch would go, and keep it open down to the lake. And then the third proposal was piping all the way down to the lake. Out of those, piping all the way down to the lake was in the area of 70,000. I believe the second proposal with moving the pipe and keeping an open ditch was somewhere in the area of 32,000. And the first proposal was in the area of 20,000. Now, we're talking 2013 dollars, not 2021. You know, and I spoke to Ms. Bradley and her contractor on site last week. Normally, we don't just undertake something like this without having an engineering study done to figure out what we need as far as pipe size in order to convey that water down to the lake. So we're talking engineering fees, whatever pipe we would need, whether we do reroute underneath the roadway. Chances are that corrugated pipe is probably very near the end of its lifespan anyway. So if we're gonna move it or replace it, maybe it would be better to move it to where it is more in line with where it should be going, as Ms. Bradley said. And we do have that drawing, that's in proposal number 2, or option 2. And it shows, it's roughly I don't know, I guess maybe a 30-degree angle off of where it is now. That's something that we would have to consider. As far as turning that water toward the sideline, I think if we did that, ran it into a catch basin and maybe ran a length of pipe from that would turn the water and get it moving toward that sideline. Now, as far as whatever pipe Ms. Bradley is asking for, I don't know exactly quantities or anything like that, but it hasn't been the practice of Public Works to improve any individual piece of property with pipe in lieu of a ditch. We've had people request us to come in and, you know, put pipe in front of their house so that they don't have a ditch because they don't like the look of it, and we don't do that. You know, in this case, I could see that there is room for some improvement, maybe in moving that cross line, putting a catch basin in with some riprap and a length of pipe to get that water running where it should, and armor up the banks so that they don't get washed out. We can armor them up with riprap. But as far as, you know, turning that and going with whatever length of pipe, you know, I would think at most, since it is a separate parcel, we supply enough pipe for a 24-foot driveway on individual parcels. So we would be willing to do that, to create a driveway across that channel.
So y'all are aware of the issue down there,
Yes, sir.
and you got your attention, y'all working with the best ability.
Well, it came up in 13. We couldn't come to an agreement on what we were going to do between Ms. Bradley and our department. You know, the 70,000 was not something that the county was going to undertake. And I think that we just kind of came to an impasse, but now that Ms. Bradley's ready to move forward, I think she's anxious to kind of get an answer and figure out where we're going to go from here. So yeah, I think in looking at it, the corrugated pipe, again, it's probably at the end of its lifespan. And if we're going to replace it, it would make sense to move it to the location where it's going to convey the water most efficiently, which is drawn up here. But I think we're definitely looking at having an engineer look at it. The 2013 price, it was somewhere in the area of $6,500 to get the engineering done. I don't know what it would cost today. The email that I got from the engineer that was on site, you know, he starts out just saying that, you know, we met last week, find the attached, which are these three proposals. And he ends it with, he says a couple of takeaways. It's obvious that the property owner purchased a lot in a natural stormwater channel based on the contour data. Basically, you know, everything flows toward the middle of that lot 13. That's kind of the valley that runs down to that point on the lake, or that, I don't know what you would call it. It's the cove, whatever.
Right.
A ditch can be constructed within the 10-foot easement, but side slopes are steep and depth ranges from 5 feet to 1 foot. This is preliminary, and actual survey data would be required to confirm design. So again, we're falling back to, we do need an engineer to look at it.
Is this some private property?
Well, it's, part of it is private property. I mean, there is the easement, and I don't know what the legal status is on that easement. I haven't done the research on it. But whatever work we would do with that cross line would be within the right-of-way, including driveway pipe, the 24-foot.
What's your recommendation, to get an engineering firm to look at this?
That's my recommendation at this point. You know, it is going to cost us a little bit, but we'll certainly look at it, see what their recommendations are, along with what my recommendations are and Ms. Bradley's requests are. And hopefully we can come to some kind of an agreement and get it done and get it put behind everybody.
Yeah, and if the catch basin or whatever was put in the wrong location to start with, it definitely needs to go to where the easement is.
And that's one of the issues that I think the engineer recognized. There is no catch basin. It's just a corrugated metal pipe coming out into a ditch.
Okay.
So it's blowing into the side of the ditch. It's not optimum by any stretch. So I think in them recognizing it, that's why they turned it that 30 degrees to get it moving back toward that sideline. I think that's where we could put the catch basin. It'll slow the water down. We'll put riprap on the other side of that. We'll probably put at least a 4-foot and possibly an 8-foot joint coming out of the catch basin into a riprap ditch so that we can line those banks and armor them up so that they don't get washed out.
Y'all study it, whatever it takes, and try to,
Yes, sir, we'll contact the engineers and get them working on it, and we've got a starting point anyway. But as far as them putting pen to paper, it's always at a cost.
okay. Anything else?
No, sir.
We had a executive session. Is there any public comments? Any comments from the committee?
Not at this time.
Okay. I hear a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion been moved, and I second it properly. Go forward, adjourn to the next meeting. Thank you very much.